Bulginaka, do you know that cybercrime is becoming a growing problem in Fiji?
Cybercrime is defined as a crime in which a computer is the object of the crime, such as hacking and spamming.
Cybercrime is also cyberbullying and using fake profiles to cause panic and spreading false news.
If you're involved in this or know anyone who's committing these crimes, report them immediately.
I'm Polly.
And I'm Peter.
We host the Traffic Jam Show on City FM.
From 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. every weekday.
Do the right thing.
In this bulletin, police sound out New Year's warning, psychological support for the Northerners, and school term dates stay the same.
From the studios of FBC Suva.
Police is warning against unruly behavior during New Year's celebration as the curfew hours will still be in place. Police Chief of Operation Abdul Khan says they will not tolerate rowdy behavior. During his address to more than 100 officers at the Police Special Response Unit, Khan says during this festive season, police presence will always remain beefed up. Khan says they do expect people who are bound to break the law and curfew, and he says police officers will not hesitate to arrest these people.
Urge each and everyone to respect the curfew hours that is in place, which is from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. within the villages settings that we have, the churches that are out there. See that the movements are controlled. If they are within the church, that's fine with us. But if people are moving out, that will be breach of curfew, and we will not hesitate to arrest people.
More than 1,000 police officers around the country will be stationed at checkpoints, conducting road checks ups as well. More than 5,000 people have been arrested for breaching COVID-19 containment measures this year. The Fiji Police Force has confirmed that 5,536 arrests were made for breaches of curfew and social gathering restrictions since 27th March. 3,792 people were arrested for breach of curfew, while 1,701 were arrested for social gathering breaches. Most offenders were from the Southern Division, which saw 1,616 arrests for the breach of curfew and 732 for social gatherings. The Western Division had 1,151 arrests for breach of curfew and 388 arrests for social gatherings. The Eastern Division and Central Division had much lower arrests over the last 9 months. With more than 1 day to go until the end of the 2020, more arrests could be made as people fall foul of the law in celebrating the new year. Counseling and psychosocial support are amongst the forms of assistance that most Fijians in the Maduwata and Bua province desperately need following the tropical Cyclone Yasa 2 weeks ago. This is one of the findings put together by the 7 counselors and a social worker from Empower Pacific who have provided psychosocial support to at least 986 Fijians in the 2 provinces last week. Empower Pacific Monitoring and Evaluation Officer Marisi Wipi says some Fijians who've been counseled also reveal that they went through some form of violence at the height of TC Yasa. She adds majority of Fijians being counseled over the past few days had mixed emotions, having faced gender-based violence, issues surrounding child protection, grief and loss, or simply being traumatized.
What we gathered from our team who did the psychological first aid and counseling was that a lot of Fijians in the Bua and Maduwata province are feeling worried and tired and lonely, and they're scared about the future and about their children and their health as well. So most of them need trauma counseling, ongoing long-term, and also grief and loss counseling.
With the many planned New Year celebrations that will occupy families, students have already started encouraging parents to start their back-to-school shopping. This is to avoid any last-minute rush and also taking into consideration the current economic situation. Student Mother Tambua says stationeries are on sale during the festive season and families should take advantage of this.
I came all the way from Vatukarasa to buy my stationeries because the bookshops are going to get busy soon and I know stock will run out.
They should start buying the students their child stationeries because there's not plenty of textbook here and exercise book.
The Education Minister has been meeting with the managers and head of schools in Vanuatu to ensure the new academic year starts on time. Minister Rozik Akbar says at the moment the school start date remains at January 18 for teachers and students at January 19. Akbar says they are now working towards fixing school buildings and that were damaged. She says 10 schools in the Northern Division have sustained severe damage due to the Category 5 cyclone. Akbar says the children's education is a priority which should not be compromised.
Military forces, engineers, the NDMO and the Australian Defence Forces to help us fix those so that we can start school on the 18th. The rest of the schools where we are able to identify minimum damages, we are going to work with the school managers to fix those.
Up ahead, Swami set for bar coaching job and Rover chases Olympic dream.
O ira na ngone no de nini ena be singa ni mataka.
Mersi sunga da kena loma dina kena mikron.
Sakena ngau na mitar lo bina nona baksa ngai ka bala loma taki na ngone. Dala bina o ya o meliki.
Bulre o ya o Samuel Samuli.
Nama ki rau ena be mataka.
Boniti kena bakarombuka.
Ni boy tini kalima na miniti me ono kina tini na kaloko. Ena radio Fiji One nan dobo ibiti.
Indaw kina na mataka. Dan ramai na singabo.
Former Nadi football coach Kamal Swami has revealed that he would love to coach Ba if given the opportunity. Swami is the leading man in the race for the new Ba coach after Runil Kumar stepped down from his position on Tuesday. Swami says he has finished his term with the Jet Setters. When asked what if Ba approaches him to be the next head coach, Swami adds he will not let the opportunity slip away.
Who would not like to coach Ba? For sure, they are a great side. I have always been mentioning that that's one of the best teams in the country and they play great football. So if I'm given the opportunity, for sure, I will help them.
Fiji Mbati head coach Joe Rambele is not the only local paid by the Fiji Sports Commission. For the past few years, only overseas coaches were paid by the Sports Commission through the government's international coaching grant until this year. Aquila Dama with the story.
Fijiana 7's mentor Sayasi Fuli and Fijiana 15's coach Senirusi Seruvakula are the latest local coaches with internationally recognized accreditation.
You know, Fijians are just as talented and can achieve the same results. So I think, especially at rugby league, you know, Joe was with the team when I think we came third in the world.
One of the sport that's raising the bar for their coaches is rugby.
Rugby have been doing a lot of work, World Rugby, with the help of New Zealand Rugby, and to assist in training up coaches.
Upskilling the local coaches is part of the new Flying Fijians coaches contract before the World Cup.
We need to develop depth in Fiji itself. There's a lot of things we need to do before we get to this competition.
The Fiji Sports Commission chair hopes more local coaches will follow suit and get international exposure. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Qualifying for the Olympic Games has been a lifelong dream for one of Fiji's top female swimmer, Cheyenne Rover. Considered as a veteran at only the age of 24, Rover has made it her goal to reach the Olympics next year. Rover is amongst the 8 local swimmers vying for the sport to Japan. The road to qualifying for the Olympics has not been easy for Cheyenne Rover given the limited resources in Nandi where she resides.
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for me personally is training short course yards and then having to come and race long course just because pacing, and then we don't have the best blocks in Nandi, the pool that we use.
Occasional rain, heavy at times, and a few thunderstorms over Kandavu and nearby small islands and Lau and Lomaiviti group. That is your FBC Morning News. FBC's coverage on TC Yasa continues on our 6th radio station with the latest in-depth news every hour. You can also log into our FBC News website and social media accounts. Our TV news coverage of the cyclone will return at us at 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. for major bulletins. Until then, stay safe and Modemanda.
हमारे खूबसूरत देश फिजी में चाइल्ड अब्यूज की घटनाएं आए दिन बढ़ रही है।
क्यों बच्चों का मासूम बचपन अब्यूज का शिकार हो जाता है?
अपने बच्चों की सुरक्षा का खास ख्याल रखें।
उनसे बातचीत करें, उनके दोस्तों के बारे में जानें।
आज के बच्चे देश का भविष्य है। मैं दीप्ति
और मैं मोनिश,
आपके हमसफर। शामिल हो जाए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे
5:45 AM से 10 AM तक
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन पर।